Okay guys, welcome to Module 1. In this module, our expert will be teaching you about marketing on Facebook and Instagram. So, get ready to take some notes and let's jump right in.
Alright guys, so welcome to the first module here. All these modules are going to cover very briefly each of the social media platforms that you can use for marketing. Now if you're wanting to drill down a little bit further, there's other courses that go super in-depth into each one. In this case, for this course, we just want to give you an overall idea of what the main, biggest social media platforms are that you should be using for organic marketing. This is not for paid ads. Organic marketing, okay? And the first one we're starting with here, because it's arguably the most popular, is going to be Facebook. Now, the most popular aspect of Facebook from a business perspective these days is Facebook ads, right? You hear about them all the time. You see them in your news feed. We have another course specifically about that. We're not going to be talking about that. This is purely about marketing from an organic perspective. And the first thing to talk about there is the distinction between personal and business, okay? So there are a couple of niches out there where it makes sense to utilize your personal profile for your marketing. Okay, the internet marketing niche, a couple of multi-level marketing or network marketing niches out there. But for the vast majority of you, you're not going to be doing that. Okay, 99% of businesses, the owners are not going to be using their personal profile for marketing their business. If you're in a niche like that, the network marketing niche or the internet marketing or the MMO niche, you might have seen people using their personal profiles, maybe saying, hey, comment below, or write info in the comments below if you want the secret to XYZ, right? And then they follow up with a private message. Okay, you've seen that enough if you're in that niche that you already know how to do it. It's not really super special. We're not going to focus on it here because, again, it doesn't apply to 99% of businesses. So in this case, we're going to be focusing purely on the business side of things. And the core of that, technically at least, is a Facebook page. Now, here's the deal with pages. They don't actually take an active role in your organic marketing anymore. All right? And the reason for that is that Facebook a few years ago decided to dial back the reach of organic Facebook page posts basically to zero. There was a time when, in practice, the page was the core of your marketing. Okay, and it still technically is today, but not practically speaking. But there was a time when you would go to your page, and that's where you would post your content. You would post links to your blog content. You would post, blog posts basically in your Facebook page. You would post, promotional information, sales, that kind of stuff. And then people would see that in their news feed. That doesn't happen anymore. All right. Now, I don't mean literally zero, but basically it's zero. Zero reach, zero organic reach for your posts. Now, here's the deal. It's still expected for your business to have a Facebook page of some sort. All right. It's still expected for you to come in here and create a page, which is very easy, by the way. All you're doing is giving your page a name and, a banner image and a profile image. And, you can put some about information here. This page doesn't have any right now. And then put a few organic posts out there. All right. Because people expect it to be there if they search for you and come across you for some reason, especially if you're a local business. And it's kind of like, and I know this sounds silly, but it's kind of like that guest bathroom in your home that you keep stocked with a towel that nobody in the house is allowed to use when guests are not around. It's a themed towel set, matching rug, matching, shower curtains, that kind of stuff. And nobody is supposed to use it in your household, right? Nobody really touches that stuff. It's just there in case you have company. Now, maybe you didn't have that in your household, but a lot of people do. And you get the idea, right? It's just sort of socially expected to be there. And it's the same thing with your Facebook page. People expect it to be there if you have a business. And it's more of a negative than a positive thing, okay? It's not like people will go there and say, hey, you've got a Facebook page. That's great. I'm going to interact with it. It's more of a, if you don't have it, they're going to think something's goofy about your business. They're going to think you're not up to speed with the times and that kind of stuff. So it is important to have one. Just don't expect to use it organically very much. Now, if you do like using it organically, if you do like posting content to it, or you have time in your schedule, or you have an assistant maybe, or a staff member who can do that, and you want those posts on your Facebook page to have some reach, you can boost them, all right, using the boost a post button right here. And all that means is you're going to add, 50 or 10 bucks of an advertising budget to that post. And Facebook will take that money and basically your organic post will be turned into an ad. So it's sort of a hybrid organic and a paid ad right now at that point. Okay. And a lot of people do that. Most people, however, who have an advertising budget really create optimized ads, actual real Facebook ads that are intended to be ads. And that's where they spend their money. Okay. They don't usually do a whole lot of boosting of organic posts, but it is an option that you need to be aware of. But other than that, in practice, okay, as far as your the portion of your business that faces your customers and that your customers see, your Facebook page doesn't really play a huge role anymore, again, because of that dialing back of the reach. Its main function these days is as a base of operations for your paid advertising, for your other types of endeavors on Facebook. Okay, namely, every Facebook ad that you create, every paid ad campaign, is going to have your page linked to it, or rather it will be linked to your page. So when people see the ad and they look at the profile image and the name of the author of the ad, it's going to be your Facebook page. Okay, so in this case, if we were to put out some paid ads, it would be coin experts that people would be seeing in those paid ads. All right, so that's a sense in which it's sort of, your paid advertising is anchored to your page, and therefore the page has to at least exist. Okay, even if you don't have any content on it. The other is Facebook Messenger advertising, okay, where you actually utilize Facebook Messenger as an autoresponder service or a broadcast service, kind of like email marketing, but inside of little chat boxes, okay? And that's a whole nother can of beans that we can have another course on, okay, if we wanted to. And we're not going to discuss it here because we're purely talking about organic marketing. But just know that when it comes to paid ads and messenger bots and that type of stuff, your page acts as a base of operations for those, and those are all linked to the page. Now, if this course is not going to go into those other things like paid advertising, and your page has no organic use or organic reach, then what are we going to talk about here? The answer is Facebook groups. Facebook groups are the new organic marketing on Facebook. Facebook loves groups, and Facebook has determined that people on Facebook love their groups. All right. So the idea here is when people were getting posts in their newsfeed from Facebook pages, business pages, it was sort of a one-way conversation. Okay. People felt like they were being talked at. All right. And frankly, it was getting a little bit cluttered. Okay. The user experience, as far as Facebook was concerned, was going down. They didn't want that to happen. They didn't want people being advertised to in their newsfeed in an organic way, especially. There's two sides of this, especially if Facebook wasn't getting any money for it. So, dual purpose here. They dialed back the reach of organic Facebook pages because users, weren't exactly enjoying having so many of those posts in their newsfeed. And the other effect of that is if people want to get in people's news feeds with business stuff, with advertising and marketing, they basically have to pay for it. Okay, so Facebook's ad revenue goes up, or the revenue from, serving ads goes up. Okay. Anyway, the reason doesn't really matter. The fact is, what Facebook did decide that they liked was group posts. Okay. Facebook groups are not like pages. Facebook groups are not a one-way conversation. It's a two-way conversation. It's a multifaceted conversation. People willingly join groups, and they enjoy interacting in multiple directions inside of those groups. They collaborate. They talk back and forth. Okay, they enjoy the content. It has to do with hobbies and other areas of interests. And so Facebook determined that users liked seeing those posts in their newsfeed, and therefore the new engine for organic Facebook marketing is Facebook groups. So we've got a group here which is about homeschooling. Okay, this is the homeschooling niche, and basically, there's not a whole lot of selling going on here. There's a couple instances of brand promotion, but there's not a whole lot of selling, but you could do a lot of selling here if you wanted to, okay? In this case, this guy basically has a podcast and a show, and it's pretty straightforward. It's not that different from a page in terms of what you're doing. You're just posting content. You're posting Facebook Live or videos or photos or textual posts, and the idea is to get people to engage in a multifaceted interaction, as opposed to just people clicking on something that you're basically utilizing as an advertisement and going away from Facebook to your pages or something like that. Okay. Facebook groups are really about starting discussions and getting people to talk with each other. And they're a fantastic marketing engine for organic marketing because of the reach. Okay, so if you post here right now, if you were to post something in here, or especially if the group admin, okay, if you're the group admin and you post something in here, you're gonna get on people's news feeds. Okay, it's gonna happen. And so the way you need to think about this now is basically the same way you would think of an email autoresponder. Not in terms of the effect, okay, because an email autoresponder is a one-way conversation, but in terms of the responsibility on your part. You really need to be posting regularly, just like you would broadcast to an email list regularly, because you don't want them to forget that you exist and, lose your interactions and your open rates. Same thing applies for a Facebook group. You really need to be promoting, or not promoting, but posting to it at least regularly, and getting that conversation happening for two reasons. Number one, people will forget about you and lose interest. Okay, just psychologically. But also Facebook's algorithms will start dialing back your reach for your group posts if you're not posting regularly and people aren't liking or commenting on posts in your group. Okay, so you really need to be committed, if you're going to start a Facebook group, to posting multiple times a week on a regular basis. As you can see, this guy here, he's not really posting things specific to his brand or products he's trying to sell, or even to his podcast or his show. Okay, for the most part, he's posting interesting content, which probably takes him 5 seconds to curate. Okay, so every day he can post something related to homeschooling that he knows his people are going to be interested in, right? Usually news stuff. Up here you had from the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, HSLDA, an important tip for people who are homeschooling, and so on and so forth. And every once in a while, you'll see an actual post that might have something to do with his business, okay, or his brand. Designed to bring people somewhere else to consume his content, or perhaps buy a product or service. Okay, so this is one way to go. This is sort of a passive approach. It's very cool. Facebook loves this type of approach because it's non-salesy. Okay, it's actual organic, useful content that people can talk about. However, you can also go sort of balls to the wall and use it as an advertising engine. Okay, a very businessy and salesy engine. Now, that's not necessarily the case in here. However, there is a little bit more selling and promotion going on in this one than in the other one. Okay, and that's because this is in a business niche. Okay, it's a BizOp niche, internet marketing, affiliate marketing, mastermind. You can see that's the name of the group here. This guy Eric has a group where he's posting, content about his journey in internet marketing. He's posting videos regularly. He's, talking about how to make money online or how to do digital marketing. And as you can see, he's very active. Okay, he's got every few days he's got videos coming out. Okay, video content is very important. You've got, let's see here, a link to a useful YouTube video here. Another thing that you'll notice inside of this group, okay, just as best practices, is when people join, he welcomes them. Okay, every week or so, you should go back and see who has joined in the past week and do a welcome post and welcome those people to the group. All right, you're going to get interaction. People are going to see that. They're going to feel welcome. They're going to want to interact a little bit more. And you've got the actual promotional stuff here as well. Okay, so if you go to this one, you'll see, this is a promotion for some type of a digital marketing service. Okay, same thing here. This is a recommended product, right? We've got down here, let's see. This actually links to a YouTube video. Let's see here. We've got, this one is a video that links to, looks like a lead magnet. We've got another one here for a product called ChatterPal. Okay, so that's probably a cloaked link or a link to a blog post, right? Where, a pitch is made and then he gets affiliate credit when he makes that. So you can do this. I mean, this is pretty easy. If you have a webcam, you can do a lot of the video content like Eric does here, and you're doing basically a mix of useful content, blog type stuff. I mean, the same type of stuff that you would see in a blog, and some actual active marketing. and advertising of your business or affiliate marketing of other people's businesses as well here inside of a Facebook group. And again, the big thing here is because it's a group, because of Facebook's algorithms and the way they feel about things, your posts inside of a Facebook group will get noticed. And this is the new form of organic marketing inside of Facebook. Okay? So that should be pretty straightforward. If you're going to do Facebook marketing organically, use a group, not a page. Don't mess with pages. Only use those as a base of operation for your paid ads and messenger bots and that sort of stuff. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Instagram. Instagram is taking over the organic marketing scene. It is what Facebook pages used to be, basically, as far as how powerful it is, the reach, the importance of it. Instagram is huge, and having an actual active large audience of followers on Instagram is incredibly powerful. Now, organic marketing on Instagram is not about blogging. Okay? It's not about textual stuff or text-heavy stuff. It's all about multimedia. Okay? It's all about video and photos. Okay? You can live stream some video. You can post video that you recorded on your phone. You can post pictures. It can be sort of personal brand stuff, photos of yourself, or photos of things related to your hobbies or stock images, as long as it's visual. Okay, that's the main thing with Instagram. It doesn't really matter what it is as long as it's visual. So the reach of these organic posts is fantastic. And it's because, since it's a multimedia centered platform, photos and videos, people interact and take interest much more. It's just natural. Okay, so it's natural that Instagram would work so well. All right, that's kind of how we're hardwired. When we see something that's visual that we enjoy, seeing, which is another reason that, with your personal profile and Facebook groups, Facebook algorithms give a lot of reach to photos and videos and Facebook Lives. Same thing applies here in Instagram, except in Instagram, that's all there is. It's all visual stuff, okay? So let's do a quick, brief overview of the different aspects to the Instagram experience. This is your news feed, right? You've seen this before. Right now we're working with a profile that's, as you can tell, interested in classical music, okay? Instruments and so on and so forth. All right, the next thing here is going to be the Explore button, which is where you can see recommended stuff, like recommended personalities or influencers to follow, or recommended content that Instagram, based on its algorithms, thinks you might be interested in. The next tab over is going to be your notifications. All right, this will tell you who's following you and who's not following you, and things that are posted and interaction with your posts, that type of stuff. And then we've got the actual account itself. And in this case, it'll show you your posts. There's no posts in this account yet. You've got Instagram TV, where you can actually start sharing vertical videos with your Instagram followers. You've got the saved area here in case you've bookmarked photos and videos that you want to see sometime later. And you've got tagging. Now, you've probably seen this in Facebook, right? Where if you're tagged in a photo, you'll get notified and you can actually see what photos you've been tagged in, facial recognition, that kind of stuff. That's what's handled right here. And if you were utilizing this account for business, right here, you could actually have a little bit of about us stuff with a link to your website. Okay, so you can actually have a little bit of organic traffic going to your website from your profile, but probably not a lot. Okay, it's really about the posts, all right, the content that you're posting and the calls to action that you use in those posts. Now, the thing with Instagram, it's a social network, right? It's a social platform. However, and more importantly, it's first and foremost a mobile app. Okay, so if you want to actually utilize it, okay, you can consume a little bit from the website inside of a browser. Okay, but if you want to actually utilize it and post things, you've got to do it on the mobile app, which you can download for the App Store or on the Android Google Play Store. And that's basically Instagram in a nutshell, okay? Visual stuff, visual photos, videos, that kind of stuff. Lots of organic reach, lots of potential there. It's booming, and now is the time to get into Instagram if you're not utilizing it yet. So that's it for this lesson. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of how to conduct your organic marketing with Facebook and Instagram. Now let's move on to the next lesson where we're going to cover Twitter and YouTube.